When it comes to identifying odd time signatures, I always found it helpful to have some songs I could go to that very clearly demonstrated that particular time signature. This is also a great way to get a handle on counting and feeling odd time signatures if you're just getting into them. I've put together a list of songs you can use to identify odd time signatures. These are mostly in the prog realm, as this is the Prog School, but there's a few non-prog tunes on here as well. I also make sure to have a good mix of newer and older songs. I also only have one song from each band or artist here, just so there's a nice variety. It would have been pretty easy to put multiple Rush or Dream Theater songs on here, but I think some musical diversity is important. There's going to be 3 to 4 songs for each of these time signatures, so let's get into it. For 5/8, here's The Optimist by Anathema. This could also be looked at as 5/4, but I'm feeling this as 2 and 3 repeating. I really like this band, and I'd highly recommend checking out some of their music if you haven't. Next is the intro to The Grudge by Tool. The intro here is 3 and 2 repeating. It's a pretty clear example of 5/8. Lastly, for 5/8 is 953 by Black Midi. This also uses a 3/2 pattern in the intro. This band is so weird and nuts, but I also have a real soft spot for their sound. If you haven't checked them out, I'd recommend that you do that. There's lots of examples of 5/4. Take 5 and the Mission Impossible theme are probably the classic go-tos, but here's a few more. Fives by Guthrie Govan is in 5, imagine that. And this I'm feeling as 3 quarter notes plus 2 quarter notes. Laser Lobotomy by Blotted Science is also in 5/4. I'm counting this as 2 bars of 5/8 combined, 3/2, 3/2 as eighth notes. Lastly is Living in the Past by Jethro Tull. This uses the classic 3/3-2-2 rhythm, the same pattern that comes from Take 5 and Mission Impossible. Plus, you get to hear some flute. Next is 7/8. This is such a common odd time signature, and there's a million examples I could have used, but here are 3. First is Marigold by Periphery. This uses a 2-2-3 pattern. This is Hyperventilate by Frost. The 7/8 here is a pattern of 3-2-2, but this could also be felt as longer 7/4 measures. One more for 7/8. This is the middle section of Duel with the Devil by Transatlantic, another example of the 2-2-3 pattern.
There's a time to understand, it's a time to see the sun, it's a time for making up, it's a time to come together, fall into the learning curve, feeding on its Never turn your back on me.
This is one of my favorite prog rock albums. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. The classic 7/4 example is Money by Pink Floyd. Now, I'm not sure I can play that here without getting a copyright strike, but you know what it sounds like. Next is A Trace of Blood by Pain of Salvation. This feels like a bar of 4/4 and then a bar of 3/4, or 2 bars of 4/4 with the last beat cut off of bar 2. Remedy Lane is one of my favorite albums of all time, and this might be my favorite song from it. Die to Live by guitar legend Steve Vai is also in 7/4. This one I'm feeling just like the Pain of Salvation example, 4/4 plus 3/4. At a minute into Thrive by the Contortionists, there's a very clear 7/4. This is 2 bars of that 2-2-3-7-8 pattern combined. I'm planning on doing a bigger analysis on something from this album at some point. Let me know if that's a video you'd like to see. 9/8 is next. First up is Voices by Dream Theater. This is essentially 4/4 with an added 8th note on the end. One of my favorite albums of the last few years was by a band called Umfell. This is Burning Water, the opening track from As the Waters Cover the Seas. The pattern here is 2-2-2-3. Next is some classic 70s fusion. This is Birds of Fire by Mahavishnu Orchestra. This one is a little confusing as the guitar and drums have different patterns. The guitar plays 16th note groups of 5-5-5-3, but when the drums enter, they play 9-8 as 3 groups of 3. Next up is 9/4. Human as Hell, the final track from the latest Between the Buried and Me album, Colors 2, uses 9/4 in the main melodic theme. This I'm feeling as 4/4 plus 5/4. The Animals' leader's classic Kfo is another good example of 9/4. It's easiest to feel this when the drum groove kicks in. The guitar pattern at the beginning is 7/8 plus 7/8 plus 2/4, which adds up to 9/4. Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden uses 9/4 during the guitar solo. I'm just counting this as 2 bars of 4/4 plus 1 extra beat. 11-8. For this one, the first song that comes to mind for me is Atlas Stone by Haken. This is counted as 3-2-2-2-2, and this rhythm takes up a big part of this song. Next is Awakened by Yes. I count this as 4-4-3, and it could also be viewed as 11-4 depending on the tempo you're feeling. 11 by Primus is in 11, and this is 6-8 and 5-8 repeating, and I'm feeling this as 2 bars of 6-8 with the last beat cut off the second measure. Lastly, for 11-8 is the bridge of Losing It by Rush. This is grouped as 3-3-3-2, and this is one of Rush's most interesting grooves, and it's accompanied by a killer violin solo. For 11-4, first is Racketeur Troubadour by Gentle Giant, another classic prog band that doesn't get nearly enough love. This is 5-4 and 6-4 alternating to make 11-4.
Gather round the village square, come good people both wretched and fair, see the troubadour play on the drum, hear my songs on the lute that I strum.
The first circle by the Pat Metheny group, which I'm actually currently making a longer video on, goes back and forth between 6-4 and 5-4 to make 11-4. Now, I've seen this written as 22-8, but that's basically the same thing as 11-4. Antikythera, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing incorrectly, by the incredible band Hego, uses 11-4 at about a minute into the song. This is also 6-4 plus 5-4. I did an interview with Yogev Gabai last year, the drummer of Hego. If you haven't checked that out, go give it a watch, and also go check out his channel because he does incredible rhythmic analysis. For 13-8, we have a song from one of my favorite instrumental guitar albums. This is the song Andromeda by Marco Sofagli. The main melody here is in 13-8, and I'm feeling it as 4-4 plus 5-8. 2-2-2-2-2-3, but this could also be felt as 7-8 and 6-8 repeating, which would be 2-2-3-2-2-2. Next is Electric Sunrise by Pliny. The opening guitar plays patterns of 3-3-3-3-1, but when the groove enters, it feels more like 6-4 with an added eighth note, or 2-2-2-2-2-2-1. Lastly, for 13/8 is the song To Negate by Tigran Hamasyan. I'm feeling this as 3-3-3-4, and you can hear that in the drum accents. Later on, some more involved rhythmic stuff happens in typical Tigran fashion, but the intro is a pretty clear 13/8. Turn It On Again by Genesis uses 13/4 in the verses. I'm counting this as 6/4 plus 7/4.
All I need is a TV show, that and the radio. Down on my luck again, down on my luck again. I can show you.
March of the Fire Ants by Mastodon is in 13/4 for the intro. It's a combo of 4/4, 3/4, and 6/4. Starless by King Crimson features 13/4 in the middle section. I'm counting this as 4/4 plus 4/4 plus 5/4. Next up is 15/8. The first one here is Forced Entry by Leprous. The intro is hard to decipher, but the verse is a pretty clear 15/8, 4/4 plus 7/8.
Open wide, go to rest. Wait for my words to explain your quest.
The intro of Window of Time by the band Fleshkiller is in 15/8. This is also done as 4/4 plus 7/8. Not nearly enough people know about this band, and I'd highly recommend that you check them out. The Ocean by Led Zeppelin also uses the 4/4 plus 7/8 idea, though you could view this as 15/4, which would be 3 bars of 4/4 and 1 bar of 3/4. I've got one last bonus example here.
You think you're smart, I think you're out. We agree on this. It doesn't work. Feeling like dirt, feeling like you don't care. We get a room, and in the gloom, she lights a cigarette. Clothes on the bed, love me, she said. I lose myself to her.
This is Open Car by Porcupine Tree, and the verses are in 17/4. The pattern is 2 groups of 17/8 combined, but the drums clearly play 17 quarter notes in the groove. So there are some songs you can use to identify particular time signatures. Let me know if there are specific songs that you like to use to remember certain time signatures with. I'd be curious to know what you pick. And if you enjoyed this lesson, subscribe, hit the bell notification, like, comment, share. Till next time, stay proggy.